right, let's take you live to Durban now, where Dasen Thathiah is with the Police Minister Bheki Cele, who is assessing police deployments there. Dasen, can you tell us what's happening now?
Maseko, the police minister just finished addressing that parade. The members, as we are speaking now, are starting to clear out. They'll be deployed to various parts of the province. More than 18,000 members. This is now, I'm talking about security personnel. This includes not just the SAPS, but other members as well from the RTI, from Metro Police, also the SANDF assisting here. They are being sent out to the high-risk areas. The minister was telling us that almost half of those come from KwaZulu Natal, half of those in the country. So these are big numbers we're talking about. But let me bring the minister now into the conversation. Minister, thank you so much for joining me. I see that the members are off to do their work. I just want to know, especially after the incidents that we've seen over this weekend, why were they deployed today when, do you think if they were deployed any earlier, would it have prevented some of those incidents that we have seen?
Well, people that are deployed here would be 18,000. Yes, only 1,500 people that you saw. They are already there at the station, hence the response at the Mistake Farm yesterday. The POP was there and other agencies. So they help calm the situation. So the deployment has already happened. But you'll know that not every station has opened yesterday, and they'll all open on Monday, all of them. And you know that some high-risk stations have not been open. So you expect that they are there today to get geared for tomorrow. As we open tomorrow, everybody is there. Yes, they've been there on the minimum, so we maximize and we put the figures that the provincial commissioner spoke about to all other stations. Some other stations, even high risk, they are higher. If it needs to be, you increase even those that have been given maximum numbers of the high risk.
Minister, maybe unpack exactly what the high risk means. I mean, how does that determination mean? What are the threats that could be present in those areas?
Well, the high risk would have been determined by our structures, especially your state security, your crime intelligence and all that. Those are the people that created the criteria. But for sure, where the candidate has been killed, that would be high risk because there are people that would have wanted to revenge, there are people that are unhappy and all that. There are other criteria. One seems to be a common criteria is the fight over the candidates. And by the way, this thing of fighting over the candidates is almost across the board. I know that at Ward 39 here in Guamashu, the candidate there is not staying there because he's not the ANC candidate, but some of the people of their party are opposed to the candidate. So it's across the board. So sometimes it's a history of that particular area. The criteria then is given by the competent structures, the intelligence structures.
You mentioned in your briefing earlier that the SANDF would not be at any of the voting stations. You said that that would be the duty of the SAPS. Talk to me about what their responsibility would be, especially in this province where I think many of the community members and residents are still reeling from that unrest. They're also still feeling very uneasy.
Well, decision taken by the JCPS cluster is that ideally, election should not be the issue of security, including the police. It would be nice, it would be good one day to have elections minus the police or any form of security. People go there, vote and go back home. But the Constitution then instructs the police what to do, instruct the soldiers what to do. The work that is supposed to be done here should be done by the police. Therefore, the soldiers are assisting to release the police from things that should be doing so that they come close to the elections. The call is that SANDF do not come close to the stations, allow the police to do it. Therefore, they will take the areas that might be problematic if not taken care of. One of those areas will be your toll gates. You know the issue of Umoy River. police will guard there, but soldiers will go there so that they release the police to go and do the election work. Things like your power stations, they need to be guarded. Things like your port, they need to be guarded. So soldiers will be there. Soldiers might be called to act and respond if there are disaster issues like your weather. This weather in this province these days is not very good and not very predictable. Weather is a human disaster, burning and all, they will be called. But we might to make elections democratic as it and take security element out of it. But that does not mean that if somebody does something that is not supposed to be done, police will act and protect the integrity of the elections.
Lastly, Minister, what contingency plans are being made, for example, in areas like Camperdown, where officials are too afraid to continue working? I mean, time is running out as well. How will we ensure that those processes are not affected from a security perspective?
Well, thanks for the people that have vision. We have many members of the South African police that have been trained as presiding officer and officers of IEC, so that when chips are down and things can't happen from their side, they can be utilized to make sure that the elections don't stop. And those that they want to go and exercise their right, they continue. For instance, the Provincial Commissioner and IEC, they have spoken about the Camperdown. What is happening in Camperdown, most of the IEC people are local people. So they are scared that if they force and when things are done, everybody's gone, they might be attacked. Therefore, it will be easy for IEC to come to the Provincial Commission and tap in that skill that has been put there when those people were trained. We expect that to happen and that the police take over there. They preside after they've been appointed by the IEC, but they have the necessary skill to do that. So those contingents, that vision was there in both IEC and the police and those that they deal with the election. So we're ready to do that.
Thank you, Minister. Hopefully we'll be having a conversation in the coming days about how peaceful the election was. Thank you very much. Well, Maseko, we'll be also joining the Minister as he visits various hotspots in the province. One of those was the one that I just discussed with him now in Camperdown, where the IEC staff, they were fearful. Now, this relates to an ongoing or old issue in that area. And as a result of that, community members had yesterday protested. They padlocked the gate to that centre, and they prevented anyone from going in. Although the SAPS was there, the staff had backed out, saying that they were too afraid to continue working. So that'll be one of the stops we'll be making. The other will also be to the Mistake Farm on the south coast. That was where a protest had broken out yesterday. Also a community protest, and a police officer was shot and wounded in that incident.
All right, Dasen Thathiah, thank you very much for that report. You are speaking to Police Minister Bheki Cele.